Hey you guys, I'm Katie from the blog and podcast nowthatwe'reafamily.com, and today I'm going to answer a question that I've gotten a lot over the past few years, and that is, how do you stay healthy and fit as a mom with a lot of little kids? Currently I am 15 weeks pregnant with my 5th baby, and I had my first 4 in 4 years, so this is something that I do care about. I feel like if you click on a YouTube video on how to stay healthy and fit as a mom, it's going to be like, I eat lean chicken, I drink smoothies, I work out, and get up at 5 before my kids. There have been seasons where I've done that, but that isn't where I would put the credit on how I feel like my body has been able to maintain health and vitality and energy, to be able to keep up with my children, to be able to gain weight when I need to gain weight, to be able to lose weight when I'm ready to lose weight, and to be able to maintain that just overall life and energy in my body. So today I want to talk to you guys about those things that are more lifestyle related, that I consider kind of the compounding effects for me over the long term. And this is something that is exciting because these are easy. These are things that do not require willpower or determination. I can do them when I'm postpartum. I can do these things when I'm pregnant. I can do these things during a very busy season of life. I can do these things when I'm not getting a lot of sleep and I can't get up before my children. Because as a mother, just the truth is we go through seasons like that. And so a highly disciplined regimen, while it can be helpful for us to maybe get that motivation to get the extra weight off right away, it's not necessarily sustainable for a lot of us in our lifestyles. So today I want to just talk about those little tiny lifestyle habits. Now, before we get going, I'm not like a physical phenomenon. So like, I don't have an 8-pack or like big muscles or anything like that. When I say a healthy mom of 4 and 5, I'm just attributing that to having a lot of energy, again, being able to gain and lose weight, and just having my body know what it needs to do and when it needs to do it. Being able to hang out with my kids, have a good time with my husband, and just be able to function in what I consider a healthy and vibrant way. Not necessarily be overly worried about my body, but have it be a very high-functioning tool that I get to live in and work from. So I think the first thing is to just not sabotage our bodies. I think a lot of the things that we naturally do in our culture that are easy to do sabotage our bodies, and our bodies are actually very capable of healing themselves and helping themselves, and knowing when it's time to gain that weight to be healthy, and knowing when it's time to lose that weight to be healthy. And so one of the first things that I look at when it comes to my health are my hormones. And hormones are what help us know what we're supposed to do and where we're supposed to do it. And I've had hormone struggles before. At 19 years old, I had adrenal fatigue. I lost half my hair. I had big bald patches all over my head. And that's when I woke up to the fact that, wow, hormones matter. And if they aren't functioning properly, we can be working our faces off. We could be dieting and our bodies will still hold on to the weight. Or we can be doing all the right things and still be fatigued during the day, no matter how much sleep we're getting or how much water we're drinking. And so for me, how I balance my hormones, there's probably a few things that go into it, but one of the easiest things I do is just take supplements in the morning. And I did get very specific about the supplements that I was taking because, like I said, I had that struggle with adrenal fatigue at 19. I was freaked out. I was like, how am I ever gonna get married if I don't have any hair? And you know, you're kind of vain as a teenager, and it would still be a struggle struggle for me now. So I ended up going to a lot of different doctors and naturopaths and trying to take whatever supplements they recommended me, and nothing really was helping. And so finally I talked to my mom, who had 11 children. She started taking these supplements after her first 5. And she was like, Katie, there's a reason why I've researched these. There's a reason why I think these are just incredible supplements. And finally I was like, okay, you know what? I'll give them a try, whatever. I'll try my mom's totally boring supplements that have been in the cupboard for the last 20 years. And I did, and that's when I noticed a huge impact on my health. Within 3 weeks, all my hair loss stopped. I stopped having to take naps during the day. And after 3 months, new little fuzzy hairs sprouted out all over my head. And so that was kind of my aha moment of, okay, these work for me and these work for my body. I've taken them every single day through pregnancies, ups and downs, and afterwards. And I just accredit them to my energy, not struggling with adrenal fatigue again, but 4.5 children later, still having the energy and vitality, actually more so than I had as a teenager. So I'm just incredibly grateful that I haven't had to struggle with that chronic fatigue and tiredness on top of motherhood, because motherhood is enough in and of itself, right? So if you go to nowthatimamotherhealth.com, that's kind of where I talk more about my supplement journey and what I specifically take, but that's the first thing that I do for my hormone. Another basic thing is sleep. Sleep is so important. That's something that can throw off our hormones. That's something that can stop us from losing weight, even if we're working out and eating all the right things, because our body's just stressed and holding on to, it's like in survival mode. And so for me, because I've gone through stages of having a lot of little babies close together, I have sleep trained my infants. So I usually am only having really bad sleep for a couple months after they're born, and then I go into getting them to sleep for 6 hours a night. And if I can get that 6 hours, I can function. And so for me, that's been a really big deal. Sometimes I get up early in the morning, at times when I'm going to bed earlier at night, but if I go to bed later at night, I don't get up as early in the morning, because to me, sleep is something that I learned, again, back in my teens, that really stresses my body. If I'm not getting sleep, I'm dealing with stress. If I'm dealing with stress, that's messing with my hormones and my body's not gonna function optimally. Okay, so this is number 3, something that I think that has really benefited me in my home as far as not having to have willpower when it comes to sweets and eating a lot of sugars, processed sugars. It's just not bringing it into our home. I found that when candy's in our home, ice cream is in our home, especially Ben & Jerry's, milk chocolate is in our home, I don't know what happens. Like, all my great thoughts go out the window, and it's like 2 in the afternoon, the kids are sleeping, and I'm just stuffing it all in my mouth during nap times. So for me, it's been really helpful over the years. That's just not a part of something that we have home. It's not a part of our shopping list. Baked goods or sweets, I stink at baking, so that probably helps. I made cookies one time in our marriage, and they turned out like these little rocks. I just don't eat sweets. When we go out, and there's a cookie somewhere at a friend's house or something, I have it. I'm not like stressed about that, but it's again that compounding effect of 7 days a week, I'm not eating these highly processed sugars that can tend to pile up. If I do want something sweet in the evening, I do love dark chocolate. I like to get it 80 to 90% dark, and you're dealing with a little bit of caffeine at that point, but I find that I still go to bed easily. That's a fun treat for me. I love frozen fruit. I've been doing frozen peaches, frozen mangoes. Those are amazing in the evening. Or tea. I love throat coat. It's kind of sweet. It has this licorice flavor. And for me, all 3 of those things totally give me that fun before bed snack time cozy treat without the added sugars. In general, staying away from added sugars and oils are something that I've tried to do. And so this comes down to just cooking mainly from scratch in our home, getting rid of things that you find that added sugars and oils are in everything. And as I get older and my metabolism starts to slow down, those are things that I just don't want hiding in our food, because again, they pile up. They're in a cracker, they're in the tortilla, they're in the chips, they're in the baking mix, they're in everything. So shopping just one ingredient at a time and building your meal has really helped just eliminate those, and it's really the only way I know how to eliminate those. One of the things that I've done for that is baking our own breads. That's a big place where extra calories and sugar and oils and fats and all these things that mess up our bodies hang out. And so doing sourdough bread has been helpful for that for us in our home. Also doing things like meals don't have to be fancy. Today I had a tortilla and cheese with beans and grapefruit. I like to make sure we have a lot of vegetables or fruit at every meal. And then just little things like having a cassava tortilla instead of a flour tortilla, or a corn tortilla instead of a flour tortilla, with all those added ingredients really just help our bodies, again, do what they need to do and balance themselves as they need to balance themselves out. When it comes to drinks, I think this is a big way that women can struggle with their bodies functioning optimally, because there's so many hidden calories and sugars in drinks. And drinks tend to be something that we do consistently. Like when I drink tea, I do it pretty much every night, sometimes during the afternoon too. So if that tea was hiding a creamer in it, or if that tea was hiding pumps of syrup in it, or something like that, and I'm consistently doing that over years, that's a little thing that's going to add up over time. So I think just not having that habit has really helped me not crave drinking my sugars or drinking my calories, and that saves me into being able to eat something that is more satiating or more fulfilling to my body, and something that actually is nutritious, can help me move forward. One other thing with drinks is caffeine. I don't drink caffeine, but when it comes to caffeine, I think the danger here is that it can mask what our body is trying to tell us. And so if our body is telling us, hey, you're really tired, and we drink caffeine instead of taking a nap, we just kind of stole from our future self. We stole from, our body went into overtime there, or we overdrew from the energy bank account or our health and vitality bank account. And eventually we might realize that we ran up a debt, and we're gonna have to pay that debt somehow. So to me, caffeine is something, I didn't grow up with caffeine. I was one of those kids that didn't do well with it when I tried it. It gave me heart palpitations. And so it was just something that I stayed away from. My husband loves it. And I know it's a part of a lot of people's mornings, or a cozy way to start the day or whatever, but it's just something to keep in mind. Am I enjoying this as a treat, or am I using it to mask a symptom? Because if I'm using it to mask a symptom consistently, then eventually those symptoms are going to turn into something that I can't ignore. And so for me, just not having caffeine has been an easy way to keep short accounts when I feel symptoms coming on of fatigue or illness or hormone disruption. Okay, and then when it comes to working out, because we all have muscles, we all need to live an active lifestyle. Living sedentary lives is not what we were created to live, and eventually that affects us. It affects our metabolism, it affects our muscle mass, it affects our bones, it affects everything. And so there are seasons of life where I've really enjoyed working out. I wish that I could maintain a schedule for working out, and I haven't totally written that off. Sometimes I've really enjoyed running. I've tried CrossFit. I've just worked out at home and lifted weights. There was a season, usually after my pregnancies, there is a season where I hit it pretty hard and I'm pretty consistent. Here I am after a miscarriage. Actually, I was kind of concerned with the possibility of getting pregnant while having that baby weight still on, and so I did hit it hard and work out consistently. But I think because my life is kind of always shifting with the kids, I haven't gotten in a great flow of consistently having a schedule that I just stick to and is like breathing to me when it comes to working out. So as kind of a substitute for that during this season, I really just opted for having an active lifestyle. I know that this can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people, but for me, having things that keep me active with the children, that keep us active as a family, I think have been crucial through this season and me maintaining muscle and cardio and just an overall health and fitness and vitality, even if I'm not in the prime of my muscle life. So things like we go on a hike every Sabbath, and that's something that I love doing. These kids can hike me into the ground. I have a 5-year-old, 4-year-old, 3-year-old, and 1-year-old, and last week we went on a hike and my legs were so tired by the end, but we'll usually go a few miles. They go up hills, they go down hills, and sometimes Elisha has to carry one of them. Sometimes I wish he'd carry me, but that's something that just gets us out in the fresh air and keeps me active. Also skiing as a family. We have little children, but we decided that, you know what? Winter is the time when we need to be out of doors more. And so skiing is something that facilitates that for us. At our mountain, 6-year-olds and under are free. And so that enables us to ski very affordably, as all our children fall in that age range. And just helping the kiddos down, helping the kiddos in their skis, carrying the kids when they need to be carried. Those are all things that work me out. And I'm tired at the end of the day. I've used my body, I've engaged my body, and it was a really fun family activity. In the summer, we go for a lot of bike rides. The kids and I walk every single day, especially in the summer. I would say kind of falling off the bandwagon a little bit here in the winter, but still I try to get outside and do a short walk with the kiddos every day. And even if that's just a mile or if it's 2 miles, that adds up. It's getting out and moving my body intentionally. So what I feel like I kind of swap for exercise in seasons when I'm not being super consistent with exercise is something that I like to call intentional movement. And I feel like as long as I'm intentionally moving my body every day, if I'm getting up a sweat every day, that's just keeping everything flowing and working and moving, and it's going to help over the long term. Again, these are little things, these are little compounding effects, and maybe we can't be the YouTube mom that we want to be that is up at 5 and doing her hour workout before the kids get up in this season, but it doesn't mean that everything has to come to a grinding halt and we have to throw the baby out with the bathwater just because that's not how our life looks right now. So that's something that I have to tell myself, and I think that ultimately that's something that has also helped me stay fit and healthy even without that heavy exercise emphasis. Anyway, so I hope some of those things are helpful to you. None of this is like rocket science, but I do think that it's the simple things that add up over time. Health is intended to be simple. It's intended to be something that we can do ourselves from a preventative standpoint. And so I do just want to put my time and my energy and my money into that preventative health and hopefully avoid some of the big things that come from not putting time and intention there. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye.